What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the BTB Show. Today, it's the Big Four. It's myself, Omar, Jay, and Earl. We're all here because we got to talk about that OKC Denver Nuggets game from last night. Incredible game that saw SGA tie Wilt Chamberlain's record for consecutive 20-point games. There were game winners. There were big performances by role players. Chippy play. So much to talk about. So, Jay, start us off. Just what's the first thing that comes to your mind now, one day removed from that awesome game?
So first thing that comes to my mind is I might be on some exaggeration juice right now. Shai might be he might finish his career top 5 guard ever at this point. I'm not even kidding. I mean, he just tied Wilt for the most 20-point games in a row. Wilt Chamberlain was 7'3", playing against 6-foot plumbers, and SJ is doing this against the best era basketball ever. Like, I don't think anybody understands how crazy that is. So that's just the first thing. But to talk about the game, recap the game, it was one of the best games of the season. Every time these two teams play, it's just cinema like this every single time. I mean, Jokic and SGA, the two best players in the league, just going at it back to back. And I remember we talked at some point in the preseason who we thought the best player in the league was. I think the three of us, me, Earl, and Omar, said Jokic. And Max was the only one that said SGA because of what he does defensively. And what he was doing defense in that game, he got 2 big blocks at the rim in the fourth quarter, got a strip steal on Spencer Jones. It's like, bro, like, what does this man not do, bro? Like, it's actually ridiculous at this point. I think Shai at this point is the best player in basketball. I think he's taking it. He snatched it out of Jokic's hand. Like, the last 2 games, from the Friday game 2 weeks ago that went to OT when SJ didn't even play the overtime and had 36 points, and then Thunder won that game, to last night's game where he hits 2 crazy step back threes, hits one to get the lead, and then Denver ties it and hits another one for the game. It's just like, bruh. Like, what he's doing at this point is just, it's pretty ridiculous, bro. Like, and then to talk about OKC's bench, bro, J. Will had 29 again, bro. He had 30 against the Pistons last week, and he has 29 this week with no Hartenstein. I don't understand, like, how they just have this many guys. Like, AJ Mitchell's first game, this is like his first or second game back. He had 24. He went crazy in the second quarter. Isaiah Joe's in the game hitting big threes. Jared McCain just comes from Philly and just turns into prime Klay Thompson, spot up shooter, shoots from anywhere. Like, I just don't understand how this team is going to be beat in the playoffs. This team is unbelievable. They have the best player in the league. Their second best player is not playing. Chet didn't even play. Hartenstein is starting center. Like, I literally don't understand this team ceiling. Like, I look at the Spurs the other day, like, against the Rockets. They killed the Rockets, and, like, you look at that team and be like, man, who can mess with this team? And that is really the OKC's only kryptonite is them. And I think a fully loaded Timberwolves can give the OKC some trouble. But besides those two teams, man, OKC is just the scariest team out there right now, man. I love this team. And last night just showed it, man. SGA is the MVP, bro. Shout out to OKC.
Omar, it looks like you got something to say, so why don't you let it all out?
All I was gonna say was I gotta be a little smarter with my lineups when it comes to subbing out because that's the second week in a row J Will has done that to me. And I have to give him nothing but props because he's been absolutely balling out. But I want to take it away from J Will real quick and bring it right back to the topic at hand, which is when I think of complete guards in this league, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be missing a few people here. I think of only really out of the most complete guards in this league, I think of 2 people. I think of SGA and I think of Cade Cunningham. I think of everything that these guys do on the court on a nightly basis, and I'm seeing absolutely everything. I mean, there's no real difference between Nikola Jokic and SGA other than play style. Obviously, when you're looking at the stats, it's all the same. But when you're looking at the game and you're looking at everything else, it tells a different story. So when I really look at everything and I really take everything as it is, while Nikola Jokic has been doing this for the past 3 seasons, and before that, I apologize, and now even SGA has been picking up as soon as possible. He's the best player in the league, man. SGA is definitely the most skilled player that this league has seen in a long time. The streak that he hit with Will is one that hasn't been touched in a very long time, and it's just something to marvel at. So, with that being said, I'll pass it on to the next person. But
All right, what are your thoughts from this game? SGA versus Jokic. Were you impressed? Were you thankful that you didn't have to play Jay Will in fantasy this week with his huge game. I think he ended with 29 points. I want to say 6 or 7.
It wouldn't have even helped. I benched him.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, man, I'm a respecter of the game of basketball. Like at the end of the day, I love watching sports, and I think, like Jay said, we're in the greatest era of basketball. I can legit turn on any game and be entertained by one or two players on either side of the court. And I think for this team, like watching the two, I'll just say like the two best teams in the West to me, I think they've been the most consistent. And when I think about consistency, I think about like what happens when your star players get injured, right? Jokic got injured. Denver Nuggets didn't fall. Shout out to Max for like keeping that take hot, where he said they wouldn't fall. And the Thunder
works with him.
Yeah, exactly. And then Thunder, SGA, he gets injured and the team just gets better. I think it's credit to these franchises for building up deep teams in a culture where we just came out of the Big Three era where you have to have 3 amazing players on super max type deals to win and compete championships. Now you have like 1 to 2 like all-star type level players and a whole team of role players who are bought into a culture of winning and playing on both ends of the floor. Well, except for the Nuggets, they don't really play at both ends. Sometimes, not the whole roster. Different from OKC. But to my point, that was one of the most entertaining games I watched the entire season, man. Like SGA, his level of control and patience in the clutch is actually insane. We've seen him do this. I guess we can call it his signature shot. I mean, every great player has one. The step back Shea, I don't know what we're calling it, man. Don't know if it has a signature name, but like watching him do that, bro, it just gives you chills. Like I was in the group chat. I wasn't in it like while the game was going on. And I seen Jay's message. I knew exactly what he was talking about. It's just crazy, bro. Like watching those type of games, that's what we live basketball for, bro. And like you said, the two best players in the world, Jokic and Shea, actively competing for the MVP, man. I'm not going to say Shea snatched the chain because I think he was already wearing the chain, so it belonged to him. But my goodness, he went to the store, doubled down, and bought another one. So I think OKC, they're really hard to beat. Like you said, no, you're talking about your 2 bigs missing, and you're in a close game with the best offensive team in the NBA, the Denver Nuggets, is absolutely insane. So to me, I think OKC just continues to prove why they're the best team, man. Like no matter what injury, we've seen games where they're missing their top 4 best players, and they're still beating top teams on East and West. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And when I see that, it just makes me scared. Like, it feels like we're all running this race, competing for second place. That's what the whole NBA feels like right now. And maybe it's like that for the next couple of years. I think early on, like the year before last, I had really huge criticism. Like, people were talking about me. I was like, OKC, they won't earn my respect until they go to the finals. And then people were like, oh, that's too harsh, whatever. I was like, no, like the next step for this team is they can be a great regular season team, but they have to take that step of being mature and competing for a whole series and winning championships. And they did that for me. And now the biggest test after winning a chip is doing it again. And they're showing dominance again, like they haven't missed a beat. Obviously, playoffs is different, but they've already proven themselves. I'm just excited for playoff basketball this year. And last game, I think that was one of the best games I've seen in the season, bro. Like, absolute chills. SGA right now, he's the leader MVP, bro. Like, he's that guy, bro. I can't even hate. Only thing I hate on, the quote's gotta stop, bro. I'm sorry. That was the cheesiest quote I ever heard. They asked him, how do you something about how do you go out about hitting game winners and knowing what shot to take? And he says, I have the answers to the test. I just don't know what the questions are yet. All right, bro.
Top tier cringe baiter.
Let's relax, bro. But that's all I gotta say. Let's relax on the quotes, bro. Way too much.
Shout out Drake.
Cringe.
Him and Jason Tatum. From my perspective, I think there's just so many individual performances that were worth highlighting from this game. AJ Mitchell, in his first game back, I think deserves a lot of credit. I think he ended with 25 points, I want to say. Played a significant part of this game with J-Dub out, Alex Caruso out. OKC needed guard play. And straight off an injury, AJ Mitchell was blowing by anyone who was defending him. Like, straight up, he was getting to the basket, especially in that fourth quarter, at will, which helped help them sustain the non-SGA minutes. Obviously, when SGA came back in, not as big a role, but huge credit to AJ Mitchell for doing what he did first game back. I think he continues to show why he is underrated. Jalen Williams, I could be at like 29 points. He had 30 last week against Detroit, backs that up with 29 tonight. I believe set a career high for 3-pointers made. This is not a guy we think of as like a stretch center traditionally, but the last couple of weeks he has been shooting the lights out. Huge performance by him with no Isaiah Hartenstein, no Chet Holmgren. He was the center, and he gave them Chet Holmgren level points with Isaiah Hartenstein level, like just overall play and impacting the game with his screens, with his rebounding. He deserves a ton of credit. But then you go to the Denver side. Tim Hardaway Jr., 28 points, 8 3-pointers made. Incredible game for him. Jamal Murray, fresh off an ankle injury that he sustained 3 days earlier against the Knicks on Friday. He was questionable coming into this game. He played solid minutes. He had some big shots, including the free throw to tie the game up at the end of the fourth quarter. Nikola Jokic doing Jokic things, 30, 13, and 14, whatever he had. In the fourth quarter and the final 2 minutes when they were down by 7 or 8 points, it became the Jokic show. Like, at the free throw line, his little post spin hook shot, corner three, top of the key three. Like, it was the Jokic show in the fourth. It's not a surprise. We all know the Nuggets offense in crunch time runs through Jokic, but it's still incredible to watch every single time. So he deserves a ton of credit. But then the man of the night has to be SGA. Tying the Wilt Chamberlain record for consecutive 20-point games in the modern era. Like Jay said, that is unheard of. I believe set his personal career high for assists. He had 15 assists in this game as well. And he hit the 2 biggest shots, 0 turnovers as well. Is that true? 0 turnovers. And then hits the 2 biggest shots in the night. The first one that we thought was going to be the dagger to put them up 4. But then the Nuggets come back with a crazy 3-point play, or 4-point play. Then we think it's going to overtime. SGA has other plans. So, honestly, this game reminded me a lot of the Russell Westbrook game, funny enough, against Denver 8 years ago when he won that first MVP. I think it was either he broke the record for triple-doubles, he broke Oscar's triple-double record, or like he had sustained it for a season. I forget exactly what the occasion was, but it was like his night of like he broke the record, I think, for triple-doubles in some category. And he had that crazy game winner, again, against Denver. It was like a catch and shoot at the end of the game, deep 3-pointer, made it. It was like a crazy celebration. This night for SGA reminded me of that, where it's like it was his moment already, but then he backs up and makes it his moment again with a crazy game-winning 3. So that was just some similarities I saw with like the last OKC MVP, now this OKC MVP. There's nothing more that can be said against Shai. I said he was the best player in the world coming into the season. I think he is proving that once again. So let us know what you guys thought about this crazy Denver OKC game in the comment section below. Do you think this is going to be a playoff matchup? I personally hope it will be. Adam Silver, do what you got to do to rig the playoffs. Make sure that we see OKC Denver at some point. So let us know in the comment section below if you would like to see that matchup. As always, we got content coming up here on YouTube as well as on Instagram and TikTok as well. So shout out to you guys for watching, for following along. This is the BTB Show. Signing off. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.